The moment Xianxia arrived at the transmission array by the side of the ancient spirit Great Land, he heard a person bragging. If you guys came late, you would have been able to see the leader of the Peach Blossom sect, the Peach Blossom Lady. It is said that this Madame Peach Blossom took the full power of her dead husband, and then changed the name of the profound realm to Peach Blossom Fairyland. She founded the Peach Blossom sect, and this Madame Peach Blossom's name seems to be Yao Shumi. A middle-aged man said to a youth, Madame Peach Blossom's father should be the daughter of that deity from Peach Blossom Fairyland. Otherwise, how could a woman like her be able to sit in that position? Especially the Dongfang Jing from the Dongfang family. He is truly a beauty, and it is said that this Dongfang Jing might become the clan leader of the Dongfang family in the future. Another person said, no one knew what happened to Dongfang Profoundlong, but they could be sure that it was impossible for Dongfang Profoundlong to obtain the position of patriarch, and because of that, only people with the bloodline of the patriarch of the Dongfang clan could obtain the position of patriarch. Dongfang Chaochuan was just a daughter, so everyone believed that Dongfang Jing would become the patriarch in the future. This little idiot actually came to join in on the fun. Fuck, that idiot Dongfang Chaochuan. If he doesn't properly discipline his Dongfang family, he would come to join in on the fun. Xianxia suddenly started to worry. You must be thinking about that innocent big rabbit. Long Shui chuckled. In Xianxia's mind, the scene of Dongfang Jing crying while exposing his chest appeared once again. Just the thought of it made his heart ache. Why are you so anxious? There are quite a few experts there, and they will absolutely not let a single one of their pampered disciples get hurt. Su Meiyao scoffed with faint jealousy. Being strong doesn't mean that they won't encounter danger. This ancient spirit Great Land was originally a world with countless continents colliding with each other. But now it has become so small and its spirit energy is so dense. Furthermore, no one is living on it. There must be some mysterious and powerful power causing it. Xianxia had killed a lot of strong experts before. These experts could be considered the pinnacle of existences in this new world. But there were some power that could easily take away their lives, making their deaths miserable. For example, that magical corruption gas. I will use the Heaven Tour method to help me take a look, Long Shui said, and immediately began to move, and Xianxia followed a path into the forest. After a short while, Long Shui said, there's something strange, there's a power restricting my consciousness and making my consciousness it became very heavy. And then the consciousness I released dissipated. What? Is it something like a formation array? Xianxia asked anxiously. No, it's a natural power. If I were to enter a little, there wouldn't be any problem. In short, this kind of power is very strange. Long Shui said. That group of people moved extremely fast, and Xianxia very quickly lost the traces left behind by that group of experts. She was unable to follow them any further. So Long Shui could only use the Heaven Tour method to search for an area that she could find. Forget it. I can only try my luck. Xianxia took out his imperial crystal, seeing if he could sense the mines in the area. Just as he was about to put away the imperial crystal, he heard an angry hissing sound that sounded like it came from an eagle, but was mixed together with the sound of another beast's roar. It's the Kylin Thunder Eagle, Long Shui shouted in shock. A descendant of the fusion of a Qilin and an primordial lightning eagle. I never thought that there would be such a rare and unique species in the mortal realm. Is it really that powerful? Xianxia was overjoyed. He guessed that the group of rankers must have angered this guy. Of course it's powerful. The archaic lightning eagle isn't an ordinary eagle. Its size can grow to be as big as a Kuan Peng, and the combination of a Qilin and an archaic lightning eagle is the only combination of birds and beasts that can give birth, allowing it to inherit a pure Qilin bloodline. At the same time, it also possesses an archaic lightning eagle's thunder power, so its strength is stronger than a Qilin. Long Shui said. Xianxia had already turned into a bird, flying towards the direction of the voice. He wanted to see what the sound of the bird looked like. Even Long Shui had never seen it. There was no description of it in her inheritance memories. There was only sound and some information. Sigh. Like me. This Kylin Thunder Eagle was thrown into mortal realm. Long Shui sighed with wisdom. You being able to bump into me is also your luck. Long Xue's words almost made Xianxia fall. Xianxia immediately snorted. That should be what I say. You being able to meet me is your good luck. It's good for all of us. Okay? Long Xue muttered. That's right, so it can't be said to be our luck. Can only be said to be our fate. Since we were able to meet each other, we should understand and appreciate each other. Xiang said in all seriousness. I am the Empress by Long of the Imperial Dragon race. I will be very powerful in the future. Maybe I can unify the Imperial Dragon race and dominate the entire heaven realm. No. Dominating the heavens and the earth. Long Xue said shamelessly. Just with a little gluttonous dragon like you? Xiang's voice was filled with disbelief, as though someone told him that the moon was square. Bragging was also one of Long Xue's hobbies. Xiang thought that it was probably because of her inherited memories. Why is there only a sound? Have I been caught? Xiang was originally looking forward to the Kylan Thunder Eagle's roar, but it was now very quiet. Captured? This is too embarrassing for a Qilin and an archaic lightning eagle. We, the white dragon, are also an archaic deviant. This guy even threw away the face of an archaic descendant. He disgraced Ben Long as well. Long Xue immediately issued a series of gnashing teeth words. When Xianxia transformed into a bird and flew away, Long Xue released the Heaven Tour method to investigate the situation in front of him. It was just that her consciousness would slowly weaken before dissipating, which was something that had never happened before. Xianxia also tried to use it, but it was the same way, but Long Xue still saw some things. There is no more forest ahead. The Kylan Thunder Eagle was caught. How is that possible? Long Xue only saw it from afar before his consciousness dissipated. Oh yeah, that Kylan Thunder Eagle had even turned back into a human. This humanoid fellow must have had a conflict with those idiots and was attacked during the fight. Long Xue immediately guessed this was also a more reasonable guess. Xiang finally arrived at the scene of the incident and saw that the handsome young man was being suppressed by a few shining enchantments. And beneath the young man was an array disc with broken treasures and weapons scattered all over the ground. Everyone surrounded the young man and was discussing amongst themselves. No wonder they were captured. The experts here were not simple. With so many array discs surrounding them, there was no way for the big bloke to escape. So this Kylan Thunder Eagle is a little kid. Long Xue laughed. Are you targeting him? You want to eat me? Xiang teased. You little bad dragon, your taste isn't bad. Pfft. How could I fall for someone like him, who has been captured by others? No matter what, our young Master Shin is much better than him. Long Xue chuckled. The Kylan Thunder Eagle that was transformed into a teenager had a face full of anger. He roared at the people around him. His eyes filled with killing intent, and was full of enmity towards the foreign invaders. If I'm not wrong, this should be an archaic descendant, Kylan Thunder Eagle. This old man has read about it in an ancient book. I heard that this beast might be even stronger than a Qilin. An old man said with a look of pleasant surprise on his face. All the experts looked at each other because Kylan Thunder Eagles were very strong, and most of the people had taken action just now. Such a powerful beast, everyone would have thought that it was going to be a problem because they did not know how to distribute it. He must have been here for a very long time, so he should know a lot of things. Since they don't know how to distribute the treasures, after they save the Kylan Thunder Eagle, this group of idiots don't need to be in so much trouble. Long Xue laughed. Xiang was convinced by Long Xue's words. He said it like it was a good thing to steal things, and he even said it clearly. How do I save him? This is not easy to deal with. These experts are no pushovers, and their formation webs are very powerful. Xiang said, you have always only understood four-phase magic kung fu, and rarely use earth attributes in 8 Qi, right? Long Xue asked. That's right. Xiang nodded, because the four-phase magic kung fu was enough. The four-phase magic kung fu was written from the Taiji Dragon Suppressed Kung Fu, and the reason why the earth attribute inside was not written was because it needs a large amount of mana to unleash the power of the earth attribute. If not, it will be extremely useful. Long Xue said, that water escape technique of yours was actually made with the earth attribute in 8 Qi. Xianxia quickly understood what Long Shui was going to do. Are you saying that you want me to make a path for you on the ground under that little guy? Basically, it's like that, but it's even more powerful than your water escape technique. This is from the Taiji Dragon Suppressed Kung Fu. Your mana right now is pretty good. You should be able to easily grasp it. Long Shui said. That part of his body immediately appeared in Xianxia's mind. It was called the Earth Spiritual Elephant Arts, and it was mainly used using the Earth attribute innate Qi combined with Fa Li to have a miraculous and powerful strength. Release your Earth attribute innate Qi and your Fa Li, just like how you released the Heavenly Dragon Seal S. It's just that the Heavenly Dragon Seal S are in the sky and the Earth Spiritual Elephant skills are on the ground. Long Shui said. It was not the first time Xianxia had used the Heavenly Dragon Seal, and he was very experienced with it. He followed his mind and channeled the divine image innate Qi and mana, allowing it to quietly gather under the young man. At this moment, the youth was being suppressed by many array webs. Other than a roar, there was nothing else he could do. His body's strength was being suppressed. Earth Spiritual Elephant, Earth Escape. The Earth attribute innate Qi inside Xianxia's body suddenly disappeared, and in an instant, it rushed to the ground not far away, only to see a small whirlpool suddenly appearing under the youth's body. The soil there was as gentle as water. The moment the whirlpool appeared, the youth was immediately absorbed into it. The many experts that were discussing intensely had only just reacted. The whirlpool disappeared. The ground there had once again become as stiff as before, and there were no traces of it at all. After Xianxia used the Earth Escape technique, the young man was brought over by the Earth Swirl channel that had suddenly appeared. The young man's face was also filled with surprise, and just when he realized that his entire body was filled with energy, Xianxia grabbed him and stepped into the spatial gate that was already opened, maintaining a distance from the group of experts. Kid, could it be that you want to look for those people? Xianxia suddenly threw the handsome youth that was the Kailan Thunder Eagle on the ground. The young man was clad in black armor, and his face was filled with anger. However, he knew that Xianxia had saved him. Otherwise, he would have been trapped by the powerful formation. Humph! The youth quickly calmed down and snorted angrily. With this little strength of yours, what kind of climate can you achieve? Xianxia laughed and threw a pill to the young man. It was a profound beast pill, and the smell was also a favorite among all beasts. As expected, the young man did not hesitate to eat it after taking action. My name is Xianxia. What's your name? Why did it appear here? How did you clash with that group of people? Xianxia asked with a smile on his face when he saw that the hostility on the boy's face had disappeared. My name is Tengying. Thank you, brother, for saving me. The teenager dusted himself off and bowed towards Xianxia. Long Shui muttered from within the quiet green dragon ring. A useless fellow, treating me as a big brother with only a single profound beast pill. Truly a fool. No wonder I was captured. I grew up here. I trained according to my inherited memories by absorbing the spiritual Qi of heaven and earth. Occasionally, I would catch a demon beast to eat. Tengying could feel that Xianxia had no ill intentions towards him. This kind of feeling was something that beasts were born with. I originally wanted to catch a big snake, but then I met that group of people. When that group of people discovered me, they attacked me without a second word. My strength was inferior to them, and in the end, Xianxia patted his head and laughed. Everything is fine now, just watch out in the future. If we were to meet this group of people again, we can just hide somewhere far away. This group of idiots have nothing better to do. Tengying coldly snorted. So that's how it is. This group of humans were just discussing how to divide me up. Humph. Also, you'd better not become that big. It's easy to become that big a target. Xianxia warned repeatedly. This Tengying was probably only at the peak of the 100 refining realm. You may not know about the human world, but I will tell you about it. Xianxia brought Tengying and walked in a certain direction. Elder brother Shen, that group of humans is in that direction. Aren't you afraid of them? At this time, Tengying had a very good impression of Xianxia. Not only had Xianxia saved him, he even gave him food and food. Don't be afraid, just come with me. When I say you are my friend, they will definitely not touch you. Xianxia laughed. In this new world, it was not surprising at all that humans could have demonic beast friends, especially those sects that specialized in taming demonic beasts. Xianxia had told him a lot about the human world along the way. Teng Ying looked forward to it a lot, but they were getting closer and closer to that group of people. Just as the experts were discussing about how to find Teng Ying's trace, Xianxia and Teng Ying suddenly walked over, startling them. The array formation in their hands, as well as the various flying sword treasures, were about to call out to them. But when they saw Xianxia's smiling face, they froze. Seeing that everyone was ready to attack, Xianxia laughed. I remember that my 10 billion bounty has already been withdrawn. Even if you guys catch me, the Dongfang family will not give you any rewards. Who didn't know that not only had his 10 billion bounty been withdrawn, it had also received Dongfang Chaochuan's gratitude. However, what the crowd wanted to capture wasn't him, but the loyal Kailan Thunder Eagle beside him, which was even more precious than the 10 billion spar. But no one made a move. Xianxia had a backer. Dongfang Lingyun brought a group of experts to besiege Super Martial School. And in the end, all of them returned with blood, because of Huang Jintian's attack. Big brother Xianxia knew right away that it was Dongfang Jing's little idiot calling him. After Dongfang Jing shouted, seeing that many people were looking at her, she regretted it. Her face was flushed red and she quickly hid behind Dongfang Chaochuan. Jing, what a coincidence, you're here too. Xianxia brought Teng Ying and walked over. Teng Ying was now even more respectful to Xianxia. He was still a little perturbed when he arrived, but other than the group of experts staring at him with greedy eyes, he didn't move an inch. Teng Ying also returned a furious glare at them. Seeing that Xianxia and Dongfang Jing's relationship was so close, the young boys and girls who came with him were extremely jealous. Little brother Xin, you've helped us time and time again. I really don't know how to thank you for that. Dongfang Chaochuan saw Xianxia walking over, and anxiously said with a face full of gratitude. Xianxia felt that obtaining Dongfang Xinyue, this beautiful female slave, was the biggest reward to the Dongfang family, so he immediately laughed. It's nothing. No need to be polite. It's fault for making us Super Martial School to do something, but someone like that, my Super Martial School, cannot let him live happily. Xianxia's words were also directed towards some of the people present. Even though his Super Martial School didn't have a large territory, his strength wasn't weak. Xianxia reached out to pinch Dongfang Jing's innocent and beautiful face, and laughed. Little idiot, you're really bold, to actually dare come to this kind of place. I came with my father. Dongfang Jing lowered his head and said softly, Little brother Xin, you don't have to worry about this. We just want these juniors to come out and gain more experience. Dongfang Chaochuan said. Xianxia shook his head. Training is not like this. This kind of place is not as simple as you think. Xianxia, you dared to come in here alone. So this place isn't too bad after all. Here, it was also because he had a pretty good relationship with Xianxia, and also knew many of Xianxia's secrets. I came to look for my friend, but my friend said that he was attacked by a group of bastards for no reason. Fortunately, he had some ability, and was able to escape from the hands of these pigs. Xianxia grinned, and spoke very easily, but that made the experts who made a move earlier flush with anger, as if they wanted to slap Xianxia ruthlessly in his face, as though they were being scolded. Enough! My friend is bringing me on a treasure hunt. Xianxia waved his hand, then followed Teng Ying and left. If they started to investigate, they would have to apologize. But Xianxia was only pointing at Sang Huai. He had only said a few words. This little guy's courage is indeed as great as it's rumored to be. I think that even without Huang Jintian supporting him, he would still be like this. Could it be that he wasn't afraid of us attacking him just now? Yao Shumi said casually. The middle-aged woman had looked over Xianxia carefully, and was the most surprised because she could not see any signs of cultivation in Xianxia's body. Madam Peach Blossom, if you had attacked just now, I don't know about the consequences. In short, Huang Jintian probably wouldn't have come looking for you, but you should know that Huang Jintian doesn't dare to leave the profound realm casually. Xianxia is not relying on Huang Jintian, but even if the big heads of Super Martial School join forces, they will still not be able to defeat you, and even if the entire Chun martial continent joined forces, they will not count much in your eyes. Back then, beside the demon and devil sinkhole, he had personally witnessed Chun Xiang killing each and every expert one of them, fearlessly. I don't believe that if not for Huang Jintian, no matter how strong he is, he would just be a little kid. An old man said in disdain. Oh? If he used 10 relive Dan to reward you, what would happen to you? From what I know, his pill refining skills were not imparted to him by the Super Martial School's mysterious Elder Dan, and he was not Hua Xiangyue either. Before he entered the Super Martial School, he already had a solid foundation in pill refining. Lien Yingxiao laughed. What everyone doesn't know is that Fire Divine Palace's Han Lai still owes him a favor. Han Lai did indeed owe Chun Xiang a favor. If it wasn't for Chun Xiang helping him today, he probably would still be trapped inside the magical corruption gas. Although Han Lai didn't say it, judging from Han Lai's temperament, he would definitely remember this favor. There had been a few experts present who had experienced the incident at Demon and Devil Sinkhole, and they believed without a doubt in this matter. After Chun Xiang left, he naturally did not know that others were talking about him. He was currently following Teng Ying and had stayed in the ancient spirit Great Land for a very long time. Elder Brother Shin, Super Martial School is so powerful. Those people just now seem to be scared. Teng Ying said with admiration. Of course. Chun Xiang laughed. This group of people are simply bullying the weak and afraid of the strong. If you were very strong, they would definitely hide far away. But if you were very weak, I understand. It's the same here, the strong preys on the weak. Teng Ying nodded. Elder Brother Shin, can I join you? I feel that if I were to interact with humans, I would be able to improve even faster. He originally only wanted to be friends with Teng Ying, but did not expect Teng Ying to actually want to join his Super Martial School. Of course you can. His Super Martial School will definitely be happy to accept you. You can be considered the first beast-like disciple of his Super Martial School. Teng Ying lived in a cave, and when Chun Xiang followed him to the depths of the cave, he could feel a very rich power of the 5 elements. 5-colored spirit bamboo. The moment Su Meiyao sensed this aura, he immediately recognized it. This is the second kind of main ingredient for refining 5 elements profound Dan. The 5-colored bamboo grew very tall, and each section had 5 different colors. It emitted a weak glow and the power of the 5 elements. 5 elements profound Dan only needed 2 main medicinal herbs. Chun Xiang already had the 5 dragon crystal fruit, which meant that he would have a large amount of 5 elements profound Dan ingredients. Teng Ying said, "It took me a long time to grow this bamboo, but as my strength increases, it becomes more and more useless to me. If Elder Brother Shin needs it, then I'll go. I'm going to leave this place anyway and walk around the human world." Of course, Chun Xiang would not want Teng Ying's things for nothing. He gave Teng Ying some high-level spirit fruits and profound beast pills, and their value surpassed this 5-colored spirit bamboo, which was also why Chun Xiang wanted Teng Ying to stay in Super Martial School more peacefully. After placing the 5-colored spirit bamboo into the ring, Chun Xiang asked, "Teng Ying, have you been to the depths of ancient spirit Great Land?" "No, the depths are very dangerous. If I go in, I will definitely die. Although I don't know what's inside, my intuition tells me that with my current strength, I will only be courting death." Teng Ying could clearly feel the danger in the depths of his heart. Chun Xiang followed Teng Ying to the top of a tall mountain. Looking down, they could only see mountains shrouded in clouds, unable to see what was down below. "Now that we're at a place, we'll be at the edge of danger. There's a boundary here. As long as we enter, it would be equivalent to stepping into someone else's territory." Teng Ying looked into the distance with a serious expression. Although Teng Ying was an archaic strange beast, it just landed in the room, growing slowly and with a limited amount of strength, just like Long Shui. If Long Shui did not meet him, his path of growth would have been bumpy, and might even fall into the hands of others. Just as Chun Xiang and Teng Ying were chatting casually, a slight tremble came over. However, Chun Xiang could tell that it came from the depths of the danger. "Those guys are idiots. They actually ran in." Teng Ying gritted his teeth and said, "Elder Brother Shin, let's leave this place quickly. If we anger the bunch of powerful fellows inside, we will be in danger. What are those powerful fellows? Xianxia asked. He was a little worried about Dongfang Jing. I don't know. They look like humans, but they aren't, because they don't have the aura of humans. Tingying was at a loss. Xianxia used a Luo Tian gate to open a spatial door, then said to Tingying, once you enter, you will be at Super Martial School. When that time comes, go and find Gu Dongchun or Wu Kaming. Just say that I recommended it. Tingying memorized it and nodded, then asked, Elder Brother Shun, you want to go inside, right? And I'm only going in to take a look. There's no need to worry about me. Xianxia laughed. Be careful. Tingying patted Xianxia's shoulder, his young and handsome face revealing a rare smile. Tingying stepped into the spatial gate and immediately transformed into a black hawk, flying quickly towards the direction of the origin of the vibration. After flying for a short while, Xianxia sensed an extremely strange energy, as if he had just penetrated an invisible energy barrier. There is indeed something strange. That invisible barrier was formed naturally, but it has been used. As long as we pass through it, we will be detected. Moreover, there will also be remnants of energy on our body. We will be accurately targeted. Long Shui said, you have transformed into a black hawk through mana, so when you enter, you will not be discovered, and your body will not be touched by the energy. So someone was inside? Only humans knew how to use such complicated things. I'm not sure yet. In short, he's a very intelligent guy, and he's also very strong. Look down below. Long Shui said. Xianxia could clearly see a faint energy aura below the towering ancient trees. This aura was left behind after the Great Battle, and it had even been left behind many years ago. Can the Heaven Tour method be used? Xianxia asked. No. Long Shui sighed. Very quickly, Xianxia arrived at a place with traces of a fierce battle. From the chi he had left behind, he could tell that they were all Nirvana realm experts. Looks like I can only use the old method. Become a bird and fly in the lower part of the forest. Long Shui said, I'll try using my nose to see if I can find that little idiot. Ancient trees were everywhere on ancient spirit great land. These trees had absorbed the spiritual chi of heaven and earth for many years, and had grown extremely thick and sturdy. Some had even evolved, and if one was patient, one could find many Qing profound fruit here. And I found it. It's easy to distinguish the smell of this little idiot Xianxia. When she's together with her father, there's also that peach blossom lady. Long Shui said. When Xianxia and Tingying met the group of rankers, he had only glanced at Yao Shumi. He did look rather pleasing to the eyes, but he felt that Dongfang Jing, this little idiot, was more likable. According to the direction that Long Shui was pointing in, Xianxia could see many traces on the way here. For example, there were some large trees with claws, some footprints on the ground, and some large trees that had collapsed. These footprints were not wearing shoes. They were human footprints, but they were a bit bigger. Moreover, these guys' claws are very sharp. They can release that kind of powerful energy when grabbed. Long Shui looked at the marks and analyzed. It seems like there are many of these things, and they are all in groups. Some of the footprints are very big, but the scars are very shallow, and should be the strongest. Now, what he was sure of was that there was something very similar to a human in this ancient spirit great land, and it was a little bigger than a normal person. We need to get close to that group of things. There are quite a few of them, dozens of them. Long Shui anxiously said. Although he had turned into a bird, if the noise he made was too loud, he would still be discovered. It didn't take long before he saw the things that they had guessed many times. They were indeed people. Other than that, the biggest difference compared to ordinary people was that they had 4 hands, the other 2 were grown from the back, and their arms were even longer and thicker. These extra hands had 10 very sharp fingernails, and from a distance they looked like cold shining daggers. These people were all bald, with a black dot sticking out from the back of their head. Xianxia saw from their eyes that this kind of person was like a wild beast. Their eyes were filled with brutality and ruthlessness, and among them, there were 3 who were even larger than them, walking in front, releasing low growls one after another. Exiled vile race. Long Shui pondered for a long time before taking a deep breath and said, "What? The evil realm? The reproduction speed and growth speed of this race are very fast, but they don't have much intelligence. Only a few of them have the same intelligence as humans, so they are easily enslaved by their king." Su Meiyao also knew about this race. That's basically the case. Because of this, during the ancient times it was hard to get along with humans, and humans had to spend a lot of time to change them, but after they were attacked, this race once started a large-scale war, attacking humans and feeding on them because they were all born with strong power. They did not need to cultivate to become stronger, so there was a great threat. When we were in the primordial era, they all called these guys evil barbarian. Their most powerful move was the pair of hands that they had grown up with on their back. Long Shui said. As Xianxia followed behind this group of evil barbarian, he could sense a pair of long and thick arms condensing behind their backs. As expected, Dongfang Chaochuan and Yao Shumi were being chased closely by this group of evil barbarians, because they had to protect quite a few of their juniors, so they could only run away. "Look at the fingernails on their hands," Long Shui shouted. Chun Xiang immediately focused his sight on the fingernails on evil barbarians' hands. These nails were like short swords, emitting a kind of white glow, waving the big hands that grew from the back. Those sharp sword nails instantly fell off the fingers like rain, flying towards Dongfang Chaochuan and the others. Dongfang Chaochuan and Yao Shumi seemed to have experienced this kind of attack before, as they immediately released the innate qi, forming two thick walls of the innate qi, blocking behind them. It was also at that time that fingernails that were like swords smashed into the first layer of the innate qi's walls, causing the second layer to be filled with cracks. So powerful! Their nails grew out again. No wonder they wanted to escape. If they didn't run faster, those young people would have been killed by those nails. Chun Xiang exclaimed. Dongfang Chaochuan also started to fight back. He threw a punch towards the group of evil barbarian people chasing behind him. The power of the punch turned into countless of fists, causing a large layer of the ground to form, and all the trees were smashed apart by the powerful fist force. In that moment, a large area was flattened. What surprised him was that those evil barbarian were fine. They had just been pushed back. However, when they stood up, they immediately started to chase after them. Their running speed was fast to the point that Chen Xiang could only click his tongue. He did not expect these huge and bulky fellows to be so agile, able to easily jump on the branches of those huge trees after entering the forest. Chun Xiang was unable to see the true strength of these dozens of evil barbarian. If it was 100 refining realm warrior that was hit by Dongfang Chaochuan's fist just now, even if they were not dead, they would at least be severely injured. However, these evil barbarian were only blown back by the strong force of the punch. "Is there any good way to deal with them?" Chun Xiang asked. Evil barbarians' physical body is very strong. This is natural, especially when facing off head-on. Their endurance is very strong. As for their weakness, it is to attack the pair of arms growing out from their back, and the most effective method is to cut off that pair of arms. Long Shui said. Chun Xiang watched from the sky and realized that the larger three evil barbarians were the leaders, and that they had never attacked before. These guys have split up. Chun Xiang suddenly saw that two of the leaders had brought around 10 or so evil barbarians with them. So he increased his speed and chased after them from two sides. The leaders were already the same as the humans because right in front of Dongfang Chaochuan and the others, a group of evil barbarians suddenly appeared. At this moment, they were all gathered in different directions, and Chun Xiang counted down. No matter how far away they are, those leaders will be able to exchange information, communicate, discuss, and communicate with each other. In the process of pursuing just now, maybe they already had a meeting, so the 10 leaders are most likely having a mutual understanding with each other, so they have a very good teamwork. Long Shui said. She also admired these leaders. For these leaders to bring a group of reckless evil barbarian to attack the human world, that is an extremely terrifying thing to do, Su Meiyao said. Very quickly, Dongfang Chaochuan and the rest were surrounded. They only had 2 stronger people on their side, but the evil barbarian had 10 leaders. The other evil barbarian's strengths were also unfathomable. At least they were not something the young men could handle. "Ha! Foolish humans, we always wanted to go out and destroy you. We never thought that you would come here by yourselves. Don't worry, we won't kill you. You will become our slaves." Xianxia could see now that the largest body of the evil barbarian was the stronger it was. Xianxia stood on top of a tree and took out the death-haunting arrow that he had recently refined. He locked onto the arms of several tens of evil barbarianesses. The skins of these fellows are very thick. Let's use the dragon power. Long Shui said. Xianxia immediately activated the innate qi in his body and turned it into a dragon power and a devil-suppressing holy power. Who are you people? We did not provoke you. Yao Shumi raised her eyebrows and asked coldly. As long as you are human, we have sufficient reasons to annihilate you. We are irreconcilable with you, the leader said ferociously. As long as Xianxia was able to see the back of the evil barbarian, most of them would be locked on by Xianxia. In order for the arrow he shot to be effective, Xianxia had added a little magical corruption gas so that it could break through the defense. This arrow was aimed at dozens of targets and was not ineffective at all. Xianxia had used the innate qi of the third floor. For him who had 1.28 million genuine granule, the third floor was extremely terrifying. Go! As Xianxia shouted in his heart, the death-haunting arrow that was silently coalescing its crossbow slightly trembled, and a transparent arrow flew out. It then split into tens of smaller arrows, and accurately shot into the arms on the backs of 53 evil barbarianesses. After the arms behind the evil barbarian were blasted into a bloody mist, a blaze erupted. The flame and the magical corruption gas mixed together and drilled into the bodies of the evil barbarianesses through their wounds, burning and rotting their internal organs. In an instant, more than 50 evil barbarianesses fell. Being ambushed made the leader furious. Who is it? Xianxia laughed loudly. It's your grandpa. Chase. The leader roared. He did not care about Dongfang Chaochuan and the rest, and immediately ran towards the direction of Xianxia's voice. Dongfang Chaochuan and Yao Shumi looked at each other, then attacked together, aiming at the arms on the backs of the leaders, then used their strongest power to unleash their fastest attack. In merely an instant, that strong aura turned into a violent storm, and countless palm images and fist images followed the storm and smashed onto the backs of the evil barbarianesses. Because just now, they saw that Xianxia's attack was extremely fatal to the evil barbarian, especially after the arm behind him was destroyed. It was basically considered as crippled. And when they attacked the evil barbarian directly earlier, it was unable to harm them. Dongfang Chaochuan took out a long sword and leaped out, moving through the innate qi storm and instantly arriving behind the leaders. She waved the sword and cut off the arms on their backs, and Yao Shumi, unwilling to be outdone, waved the two slender pink long whips, ruthlessly and quickly whipping the thick arms on evil barbarian's back. Every time a whip lashed out with her extremely strong innate qi, an explosion would occur. In the short span of a few moments after Xianxia's sneak attack, the leaders were struck back fiercely by Dongfang Chaochuan and her, and a large number of them died. Just as Long Shui said, those two arms were the lifeline of the evil barbarian. Once it was destroyed, its power would be greatly reduced and it would not be able to retaliate. The large leader who was laughing sinisterly just now had a face full of anger as he looked at the arms that were chopped off by Dongfang Chaochuan on the ground. These leaders did not expect that the person who they had been chasing down the entire time would actually retaliate with such ferocity, and at a strength that was not weak either. Yao Shumi and Dongfang Chaochuan were mainly here to protect the young people, to not let go and fight them, so as long as they saved their strength, they could protect the young people as they escaped and leave this dangerous place. The leader roared and jumped into the forest. But at this moment, a green light flashed, leaving a green arc in the air. The leader's body was also split in half like a crescent moon. Xianxia slowly floated down, a large domineering green blade in his hand. Hee. Without those arms, you actually became so weak. Xianxia put the green dragon demon-slain broadsword on his shoulder and walked towards Dongfang Jing while grinning. You little idiot, you must be scared. Dongfang Jing's jade face was filled with fear. Seeing that Xianxia had arrived, she smiled sweetly at him and nodded. Yao Shumi and Dongfang Chaochuan were just about to speak out to thank Xianxia, but Xianxia suddenly shouted in front of them. You guys truly aren't listening to their advice, coming in and causing trouble. There are a lot of people here and this is just outside. Everything you guys have met are just for fun. If you were surrounded by a large group of people, I won't be able to save you. Yao Shumi was actually the one who extended a helping hand. If it wasn't for Xianxia's help, they would definitely have fallen into a bitter battle. Young Master Shin, you're right. Thank you, young Master Shin, for saving me. Yao Shumi arrived in front of Xianxia and gave a bland smile. He bowed to Xianxia, causing the disciples of the Peach Blossom Fairyland S to be dumbstruck. Xianxia put away the green dragon demon-slain broadsword that was dripping with blood and laughed. He, Madam Peach Blossom didn't invite my super martial school as a guest earlier. She's probably afraid that I would cause trouble. This caused Yao Shumi's jade face to redden. She did not expect Xianxia to say such words in front of her, which made her feel slightly embarrassed. Yao Shumi did not refute him. With a blushing face, he smiled and nodded. Please forgive me. In the future, whenever young Master Shin comes to the Peach Blossom Fairyland, we will welcome him at any time. Xianxia pointed in a direction. If you want to go in this direction, you can leave this place. When you came in, you already possessed a bit of energy, and will be easily detected by that group of people. They are primordial evil barbarians, sealed here. So after you leave the great natural formation that seals them, you all aren't afraid of being hunted down. What about the others? Dongfang Chaochuan asked. Let them be. I'm only here to save the little fool. But now, I want to take a look in the depths. Xianxia pinched Dongfang Jing's face tightly, then fled into the forest and disappeared. Big brother Xianxia, be careful along the way. Hearing that Xianxia was about to go deeper in, Dongfang Jing was startled. She anxiously shouted, but she could no longer see Xianxia. Just as Xianxia left, Lian Yingxiao flew over with a smile. I didn't expect that the matter of the hero saving the beauty would be snatched away by Xianxia. Island Lord Lian, after we send these young people out, we must return. The situation here is not good, and if there are any serious casualties, we must take responsibility. After all, we were the experts who proposed to carry out these activities. Yao Shumi said with a serious face. Lian Yingxiao nodded his head. This is something that I must do. You guys should have stopped Xianxia just now and asked him about some things regarding this place. He and that Kylan Thunder Eagle are friends, you guys should know something. Xianxia did not know much about the evil barbarian. He only knew the weaknesses of the evil barbarianess. He was just curious how the evil barbarian empire operated in the depths of the ancient spirit Great Land. The ancient spirit Great Land was formed from multiple continents colliding together, so the spirit energy was extremely dense. However, Xianxia did not come across any spirit medicines along the way, but instead, he met places with spirit medicines. When he passed by, he could still feel the remnant aura. This footprint is the footprint of a shoe. It looks like a normal person, but it doesn't leave any breath. Moreover, there aren't many footprints. It must have come from a tree. After Xianxia saw the footprints, he started to ponder. Looking at the traces, it should have been some time. Could it be that someone came here to gather spirit medicine frequently? Xianxia had to be even more careful now. In this area, it was very easy for some spiritual herbs to grow. He walked around and found that there were dozens of humans that had been here before. However, it was hidden very well and was not discovered by the evil barbarian. Or else, after it was discovered by the evil barbarian, this group of people would be able to kill the evil barbarian. Long Shui said, the deeper they went, the denser the spiritual qi became. Although there was a certain distance between them and the profound realm, it was much denser than the spiritual qi of many big sections. One must know that when big sects were built, they were only decided by selecting thousands and thousands of other big sects. It might be a demon beast in human form. Su Meiao's words made Xianxia's heart tremble. The majority of the humanoid beasts were from the nirvana stage, and they were very strong. Although the ancient spirit Great Land didn't have as many people as the others, the hidden dangers made many strong practitioners have no choice but to treat them with caution. Xianxia turned into a common green bird, flying in the dense forest. It could avoid being attacked by some demon beasts that had strong concealing abilities. After flying for half a day, Xianxia suddenly heard a threatening and ruthless voice. If you don't hand over the spirit herbs that you've harvested, I'll pinch this little girl to death. This voice was somewhat familiar to Xianxia. He could hear that it was one of the experts, and very quickly he saw an infuriating scene. A middle-aged man wearing a blue robe was pinching the nape of a 5 to 6-year-old girl, lifting her up. Xianxia was furious. From the middle-aged man's service, he knew that the middle-aged man was from Thunder Heaven School. The middle-aged man menacingly threatened the 3 beast-skinned muscular men. Their faces were also filled with anger, and there were traces of blood at the corners of their mouths. They had 1 or 2 bloody holes on their bodies, and their faces were ugly. The swords in their hands had traces of blood on them, so it was likely that they were the ones who had pierced through the 3 burly men's bodies. Their faces were also brimming with complacent smiles. The humans outside are indeed the same as the evil barbarian. It's just that they're even more despicable and vicious than the ones in the evil barbarian. A one-eyed man roared angrily and took out some spiritual medicines that were emitting dense amounts of spiritual energy. They had just collected these. When Xianxia saw this, he was infuriated. Thunder Heaven School was, after all, a very famous sect in this new world. This guy, he should be the leader of the Thunder Heaven School. Lei Durong. Definitely cannot let him go. Xianxia took out the death-haunting arrow, condensed it into dragon power and released it. He wanted to control the magical corruption gas very precisely, as long as it was enough to make the inner body of the Thunder Heaven School become dirty and rotten. Shui watched the timing. Use your mana to save that little girl. We can't let this guy succeed. Xianxia said, as the condensed crossbow arrow shot out angrily. After the arrow was shot out, Lei Durong immediately sensed that someone was sneaking an attack on him. The moment he relaxed, a strange power made the girl in his hand suddenly drop her hand and shout towards the one-eyed man. Who? Lei Durong roared angrily. Xianxia's arrow did not pierce through his body, but was blocked by a powerful armor. Even so, the magical corruption gas still spread out on Lei Durong's body, went through his clothes and armor, and drilled into his body through his skin. Lei Durong was indeed a leader of a sect, and very quickly, he found out that he was poisoned, and hurriedly swallowed a high-level detoxification pill. He sat down cross-legged and started meditating. He knew that the poison was extremely terrifying and was wreaking havoc in his body. The word die was a bit unfamiliar to the warriors who had just crossed the 8th tribulation of Nirvana realm. Usually, they would only feel this kind of fear when facing Nirvana Doom S. But now that he felt the strange poison aura in his body, he could not help but feel a deep sense of fear. Protector, don't let anyone near me. The guy that plotted against me is definitely not strong, or else he would have appeared a long time ago. Lei Durong growled, and had the 3 disciples beside him surround him. When the sturdy guys saw this, they knew that someone was trying to save them from the shadows. They were carrying the girl and wanted to leave, so Lei Durong groaned and released a strong force that pushed the few men down to the ground. The girl, who was protected by the one-eyed big guy, did not get hurt. Lei Durong had to pay a price for this. Just now, with his luck, the poison spread even faster, causing his internal organs to rot, and he quickly took out a bottle. But he was immediately smashed by Xianxia's arrow. Despicable! Lei Durong trembled, gritted his teeth, and spat out a few words. Xianxia took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and as expected, it flew from a distant tree. In a few breaths' time, it arrived in front of Lei Durong. I'm afraid I'm not as despicable as you, old turtle. Xianxia chuckled. It was actually Xianxia. Lei Durong felt a sweetness in his throat and almost vomited blood. He, a dignified leader of a sect, was actually ambushed by this brat, Xianxia, and he was poisoned. You and I have no enmity with each other. Why did you try to harm me? Xianxia shouted in a low voice. Xianxia possessed a large number of relivdan, so he naturally could possess powerful poisons as well. Lei Durong never dared to underestimate Alchemist, because the pills given by Alchemist could not only save people, but also kill people and formless, causing them to die miserably. Xianxia laughed coldly. These people also have no enmity with you. Why are you snatching other people's spirit medicine? You even used a child to threaten me. You don't have the right to ask me that question. I just can't bear to see you do it. As long as you give me the antidote, I can apologize to them and compensate them. Lei Durong clenched his fists tightly. It was not easy for him to get through the 8 tribulations of nirvana, and he was not willing to die like this. Xianxia laughed. I don't trust you. Just then, a disciple of the Thunder Heaven School suddenly flew out in the direction of the girl. Xianxia's reaction was not slow either. He flashed towards her and at the same time, chopped the Thunder Heaven School disciple into 2 halves. It was just a single slash, yet a disciple of the 100 Refining Realm was sliced off by Xianxia like tofu. The armor on his body was completely useless. Xianxia could guess that all of this was because of Lei Durong's divine sense. Humph! Xianxia's divine blade shook, releasing a clear dragon's roar, and the blood on it was also shaken into a bloody mist. The remaining 2 disciples started trembling. They knew that Lei Durong did not have the power to resist. If not, they would have killed him already. They were afraid that Xianxia's strong poison would have noiselessly poisoned a powerful warrior like him. You! Before Lei Durong could finish his words, Xianxia flashed forward and shouted coldly, Die! The blood was black and carried a strong poison, causing the 2 disciples to feel weak from head to toe. Their powerful leader died in front of them just like that, killed by a little ghost. But they were not afraid for long, and fell into a deep slumber forever. After Xianxia killed Lei Durong, they also killed the 2 disciples. Xianxia released a wisp of flame which carried the devil-suppressing holy power. It was able to burn the poison within a short period of time and cleanse the place completely. Are all of you okay? Xianxia walked over and supported the one-eyed burly man up, then smiled at the cute girl who was crying like the rain. Thank you for saving us. Looks like the humans outside are all like those guys. The man looked at Xianxia with awe. They knew of Lei Durong's strength. They were like ants in Lei Durong's eyes, but they were still slaughtered by him. No need to be polite, these guys are good people wherever there are people. However, once they take a fancy to something they want, they will be more dangerous than anyone else. Xianxia laughed. Xianxia chatted with the 3 big-sized men for a while before he found out that they were native to this place, called the Ancient Spirit Race. This was also the place where the evil barbarian originated from. They had absorbed the same amount of energy as the evil barbarian, so they were sealed here and could not leave. Their overall strength was actually not weak, comparable to the evil barbarians. Which elder did they come out with? It was only because that elder went to chase after a powerful ancient beast that he made them wait here, and then met Lei Durong. He just so happened to see them picking those rare spirit medicines. So Lei Durong was greedy and wanted to snatch them away. The ancient spirit clan only had a bit more than 1,000 people. The name of their village was the Ancient Spirit Village. The houses in the village were all made of green jade-like stones. It was said that they had been there for hundreds of thousands of years, and were extremely sturdy. The moment Xianxia walked into the village, Long Shui immediately said, This village is not simple. There are quite a few powerful people, and they are even inside a transparent profound realm. Just by saying that you can see the outside scenery inside the profound realm, but you can't see in from the outside, this kind of profound realm is very special, very rare. The edge of the village was just a few densely packed forests. Xianxia released his divine sense, but was unable to penetrate through, which showed that what Long Shui said was true. Because Xianxia saved the few big men, he was invited to this place. What surprised Xianxia was that the village head of the ancient spirit village actually personally came to receive him. Xianxia chatted with the big men along the way and knew that the village head of the ancient spirit village was the strongest person here. His name was Gu Hua. He was a kind, white-haired old man, and when he walked out, he immediately smiled and said to Xianxia, It has been a long time since someone from the outside came in, little brother. You have saved these few kids. Please come in. Seeing the ancient saying, Xianxia had a strange, unspeakable feeling, and this feeling felt very familiar. He followed Gu Hua to a very simple hall, and that familiar feeling became even stronger. Gu Dongchen. It's just that Gu Dongchen hid his presence very well. Could it be that Gu Dongchen came out of the ancient spirit village? A thought flashed in Long Shui's mind, and he immediately said in shock, This ancient spirit great land is very far away from the mortal martial realm. Why would Gu Dongchan appear here? Xianxia was also extremely shocked in his heart. That familiar aura was indeed very similar to Gu Dongchan's. In addition, Xianxia also realized that this Gu Hua and he have something in common, that is, they are very thrifty. Because an outsider suddenly came to the ancient spirit village, many curious children came to watch, but they were all driven away by Gu Hua. Gu Hua passed Xianxia a cup of tea. It was pitch black and had a rather pungent smell. Xianxia received it and took a sip, almost spitting it out. Village Chief Gu, the taste of this tea. It's weird. Although the taste was bad, Xianxia could only swallow his words. Oh, maybe it's been too long. Gu Hua's old face reddened, and she poured herself a pot of water so that Xianxia could eat it. This guy is too stingy. He actually used all these tea leaves that have been placed for who knows how long to make guests drink. He has the same moral character as Gu Dongchan. Long Shui groaned. Village Chief Gu, have any of you left the ancient spirit great land before? Xianxia asked. His intuition told him that Gu Dongchan might be one of these people. Gu Hua stroked his beard and nodded. There are a few people who have left before, but all of them have used very special methods, such as the transmission array, or were taken away by outsiders. Hearing Gu Hua say this, Xianxia was sure that Gu Dongchan was one of those brats, and it was very possible that he was taken away by his senior brother. Our ancient spirit clan is just too unlucky. We absorbed the same energy as the evil barbarian, drank the same water, and then somehow a natural formation suddenly appeared. In the end, we were trapped here for many years. Gu Hua sighed. But our ancestors said before that it was because this is a very dangerous place that a human, neither human nor ghost, was born here. Originally, we were going to move away, but we couldn't bear to part with this village because it was very safe here. The evil barbarian had attacked us multiple times and they couldn't do anything to us. We'll be trapped here forever. Although Gu Hua was a powerful warrior with unfathomable strength, he looked like an old man in his late 20s. Little brother, can you tell me what is going on outside? There have never been so many people entering that natural array before. Gu Hua asked curiously. Xianxia nodded and then told Gu Hua about the New World's matter. This caused Gu Hua to look at Xianxia in fear. Is it finally coming? I never thought that it would happen in my generation. Gu Hua frowned and muttered. Seeing Gu Hua's expression, Xianxia had a bad premonition. He anxiously asked, what is coming? Great war between three realms. Our ancestor said that the last time great war between three realms would start from our ancient spirit great land. Gu Hua said, one last great war between three realms. Previously, Long Shui had already guessed that if the demon dweller and the three realms fused together, this would be the last time for the great war between three realms. Xianxia drank the tea in one gulp, then asked with a serious expression, starting from ancient spirit great land? What does that mean? Gu Hua laughed desolately. The first demonic path of the new world is opened from here. The reason the ancient spirit great land gave birth to the evil barbarian is because the space here is very weak and the demon and devil realms' energy can penetrate here, which is why the evil barbarian turned out to be like this, a fusion of demons, and humans. Xianxia immediately stood up and clenched his fists. I need to go back immediately and let everyone prepare. If necessary, we need to seal this place. Gu Hua shook his head. I can't seal it. You'll know when the time is right. When that passage is opened, the powerful spatial energy it generated will tear apart the natural formation. And then, a very large tunnel would appear. It looks like the three continents are connected together. Xianxia now understood why so many continents in this world had collided together back then. It was because space was shrinking, and not long after, a very large spatial passageway would appear here. Great war between three realms would start from here. This is the last time the three realms will be opened, because it won't be closed any longer. There will be countless tunnels into the new world, and the three realms will be fused together. Gu Hua said. Suddenly, a weak tremble came over. Gu Hua immediately stood up and walked out of the house, raising his head to look at the sky, only to see two gigantic black holes appearing there. What's that? Xianxia opened his eyes wide. His face was filled with shock, and the two gigantic black holes were slowly descending. Passages, a passageway to the demon world and the demon world. As long as they land on the ground, the ancient spirit great land will become larger, double the amount of land, which is the world structure of the demon world and the demon world. The passageway, the world channel to the demon world, will become larger, double the number of times the amount of land, which is the world structure of the demon world and the demon world. Xianxia finally understood that the mortal martial realm was connected to the demon and devil realms, and the other side of the Great Devil Mountains was connected to the ocean. But now, the great war between three realms had begun. The first of the three realms passage would be born in the ancient spirit great land. If the ancient spirit race hid in the profound realm, they would naturally be fine. But it was hard to say for themselves where else. Fortunately, each world had only one path. If each continent had only one path, then things would become troublesome. I didn't expect it to start so soon. I have to go back and prepare. Xianxia had originally thought that there was enough time to wait for him to cross the Nirvana Doom. But now, the first passage had already appeared. The passage above the Chun martial continent would probably appear soon. Be careful. Guhua nodded, then sent Xianxia out of the ancient spirit village. When Xianxia came outside, he felt an extremely dense demonic aura. He took out the Luotian gate and wanted to open a spatial tunnel, but did not succeed because the space was very unstable and there were tyrannical spatial fluctuations everywhere. Now we can only fly back. Xianxia turned into a bird and quickly flew in the forest. At the same time, in the dangerous places filled with demonic aura on many continents of the New World, the spatial energy fluctuations were extremely intense. These places were all the same as the Chun martial continent. They were all places where the demonic tunnels appeared in the same world. Because the great war between three realms was nearby, all of the continents sent people to watch. At this moment, Gu Dongchen received the news and immediately became anxious. The big shots of the various forces in the mortal martial realm were gathered together. The other realms were also in the same state. At this moment they had become extremely united, or else they would be destroyed, and no matter how many resources they had, they would have no chance of using them. When the experts from the ancient spirit great land S encountered the evil barbarian S, they tactfully stayed far away. When the passage appeared, they basically came to the coastal transmission array and saw the huge black hole in the sky. Could it be that the ancient spirit great land is the center of this new world? Generally, this sort of place is the weakest. Bai Yuyu said. When he first entered the sacred Dan realm, he came from the center of it. It's very possible, Long Shui said. If that's the case, then the center of the demon realm is not so simple. The people there are all strong. It's the gathering place of the devil race, Bai Yuyu said. Xianxia had seen the people of the devil clan before, and they had even been killed before, so he didn't think that they were powerful at all. Although you've killed those people with the surname demon, they aren't of pure devil bloodline. If they have pure devil bloodline, then those at the same level as you won't be weaker than you. Bai Yuyu said very seriously. I understand. To make Bai Yuyu be so serious, Xianxia knew that Bai Yuyu was worried about him and wanted him to be careful. Xianxia did not notice what happened to the two gigantic black holes. He only felt that a burst of spatial energy was becoming more and more tyrannical, and that the natural formation would definitely be destroyed because of this. At that time, the evil barbarian would be able to leave the ancient spirit great land, and if those evil barbarians were controlled by the demon and devil realms, it would be unimaginable. There's a situation. Someone is coming. It's an intense demonic energy. It should be the people from the demon world. Long Shui anxiously said. Interesting. Someone can actually turn into a bird. A gentle yet curious voice suddenly came out, only to see a black net enveloping them. It moved as fast as lightning and trapped Xianxia, pinning him down on the ground. Xianxia immediately reverted back to his human form, feeling extremely shocked in his heart, because someone actually saw him in his human form. Long Shui had said before, only the experts of the divine way could see through him. How did you do it? If I didn't have the demonic saint's divine vision, I wouldn't even be able to see it. A snow-white man wearing a luxurious black robe lightly landed in front of Xianxia. From time to time, a red glow flashed across one of his eyes. Soon after, 2 men and 2 women also landed on the ground. The moment they landed, the surrounding trees were suddenly turned into black ashes, and then were blown away by a strong wind. A charming purple-haired woman said with a disgusted tone, "I hate these trees. I want to destroy them." The hundreds of trees in the surroundings were all destroyed in an instant by this woman, and the technique she used was very strange and terrifying. Xianxia, who was trapped in the black net, was dumbstruck. He knew that the 3 men and 2 women that surrounded him were all strong young experts in the demon world, and it was very possible that they were the devil race that Bai Yu mentioned had pure blood. Is this the man of the human world? My looks are pretty good, and my figure is even better than all of you. It's just that my strength is a bit lacking. So I really want to offer my first time to such a handsome man in the mortal world. A red-haired lady said charmingly as she twisted her mature and charming body. Her eyes flickered with a red light, as if she was trying to hook away Xiang's soul. The purple-haired woman, who hated trees, giggled. Big Sis wants to use him to train, right? Look at him. He's very calm. The red-haired girl saw that Xiang was not bewitched by her and said in shock, "My bewitching eyes are useless against him. It seems he is not simple. I really want to see his performance on the bed." Before, Xiang had heard Bai Yu say that there were some women in the demon world who would use some strong and handsome men to cultivate. "Let me ask you, how did you become a bird?" The voice of the white-faced man who looked like a woman asked. It was he who had covered Xiang with the black net. Xiang stood up, let out a cold snort, and his body shook. The transparent and colorless devil-suppressing holy power erupted, turning the black net into black powder. "How did I become one has nothing to do with you. Why should I tell you?" Xiang sneered. Even though he was surrounded by 5 powerful devil cultivators, he was not afraid in the slightest. Looking at the floating black powder, the 3 men and 2 women were stunned. Number 2. This is the magic weapon that you think is the most powerful. The mature red-haired lady said as she frowned. She was extremely cautious towards Xiang. When the white-faced man saw that his magic equipment had been destroyed, he was instantly enraged. However, his voice was still gentle. "Big sister, no matter how much you like him, I will still turn him into a pile of minced meat and eat him bit by bit." Lao air. This is the prey that elder sister has set her eyes on. Leave it to me. After I finish training, I should have more bones to eat. The red-haired woman let out a cold laugh. Her hands suddenly turned red, and a pair of red claws appeared on the back of her hands. Xiang heard others discussing how to eat his flesh and bones and felt upset. He never thought that he would be so delicious in the eyes of these devil cultivator. The red-haired girl smiled charmingly. Her clothes suddenly fell apart, leaving only 2 pieces of cloth on her body. One piece of jade peak was wrapped around her chest while the other wrapped around her waist, revealing her proud figure. However, Xiang was not moved by her actions. One must know that this woman was very bad. She actually wanted to use him to train, and even gave his bones to someone else to eat after cultivating. Nice focus. The red-haired woman knew that Xiang was strong, but she knew that she was not weak. As she spoke, she had already floated in front of Xiang and used her red claws to attack him ferociously. The red-haired girl's punches were extremely fast. Countless of red punches enveloped Xiang, as though each punch was able to pierce through Xiang's body. But what surprised everyone was that Xiang was able to dodge all of them. Shameless! Xiang scolded. He grabbed the empty door of the red-haired girl and slapped it, fiercely hitting that extremely charming cheek. When his palm touched that smooth and silky cheek, he did not care about the woman at all, and immediately released 10 explosive sounds. It was actually the 10th layer of devil-suppressing power. This power was very harmful to the demons. Now that it had been verified, the woman's face swelled up and her beautiful jade teeth were completely shattered by the violent devil-subduing method. Her originally beautiful face now looked completely different. Big sister! The 3 men and 1 woman who were watching from the side hurriedly started to shout. Their faces were full of anger, But they did not attack because they knew that the red-haired woman did not like people interfering with her battle. Xianxia could only smile, and took out a very big mirror and threw it over. The red-haired lady looked at herself in the mirror, and immediately became angry. "I will tear you apart." The red-haired woman was furious. Just then, Xianxia asked, "Are you from the Demon Eye clan?" This was what Bai Yu had told him, that the red-haired woman had enchanting eyes. The other man had the Saint Devil's divine vision. The other 3 people must have had it too, but they did not say it out loud. "That's right," the red-haired girl immediately replied. She turned into a red shadow and pounced towards Xianxia, her speed much faster than before, her red claws even leaving a scratch on Xianxia's face. But that was all, because Xianxia still dodged it. Xianxia laughed. "Other than their powerful eyes, the Demonic Eye clan are lacking in everything else. I thought you guys are the strongest in Devil Race. That's disappointing." At this moment, the 5 youths of the Demon Eye clan were all secretly surprised. This was because even the Demon Realm forces did not know about the internal situation in the Devil Race. "Enough to kill you, what are your last words now? You have already been poisoned by my poison." The red-haired woman suddenly laughed. Although her face was in pain when she laughed, she was truly happy. Just as the red-haired girl was laughing wildly, Xianxia suddenly disappeared and appeared in front of the red-haired woman in the blink of an eye. After that, she threw out a punch and another 10 explosions sounded out, and this time, Xianxia even used dragon power, as the 2 types of berserk energies fused together, causing the lethality of the demon to increase, and with just one punch, the red-haired woman almost spat out all the shattered air and dirt in her body. "Big sis, how could you?" The man with the Saint Devil divine vision shouted in shock, and Xianxia had already flashed in front of him. The slaughter god's hand released a terrifying killing intent that made people despair, bringing an extremely berserk purple lightning that struck the man's Saint Devil divine vision. Although this punch was not made using dragon power, for Xianxia who possessed Thunder Soul, the lightning here was equally terrifying. It was only one punch, but the man's Saint Devil divine vision exploded, and the strong tap numbed the man's head, causing him to faint instantly. Whether they were dead or alive was unknown, and the remaining 3 people were incomparably shocked, because this was different from their understanding of the human world. In the demon world, the people of the human world were incomparably weak, but the Xianxia in front of them was far more powerful than they could imagine. "Let's attack together," the purple-haired woman shouted out loud. She took out a black pole and rushed towards Xianxia. However, before she could even take a few steps forward, had already arrived in front of her, and a vicious lightning fist exploded in her eyes. The 2 men were also wrapped by the water vines, and the water vines were all wrapped up by Xianxia's devil-suppressing holy power, making it difficult for them to escape. This was what Bai Yu had told him. As long as he could harm their eyes, he would be able to make the innate qi in his body chaotic and unusable, and at the same time destroy their powerful demon eyes. Xianxia's 2 men were also beaten black by Xianxia. Although they did not die, they could still be considered to have been destroyed for the rest of their lives. This was Great War between 3 realms' first battle. Xianxia wanted these 5 fellows to go back and tell the demon world that they had won their first battle. "So weak." Xianxia rubbed his fist and turned back into a bird, quickly flying away from this place. There were people from the demon realm here. It seemed like they had already occupied the interior of the ancient spirit great land, and those evil barbarianesses had also been conquered by them. Bai Yu said, "Although these 5 people are not the strongest, but their demon eye is very strong. From their service and demonic techniques, their position in devil race is not low, but the demon eye race is usually in a supportive position. For example, if it's someone that has weak willpower, no matter if it's men or women, they would all be bewitched by them." Xianxia curled his lips. "But it's already gone. I just punched her in the eye. This kind of person, compared to Sister Meiyao, is 1,000 times worse. You actually want to seduce me. You can't even compare to the little Mimi of the little bad dragon, and you still dare to show off in front of me. Of all the women by Xianxia's side, regardless of their size, which one of them could be said to be infatuated with a dead person without paying with their life? He had been honed long ago. Apart from these women, it was really hard for other women to make him take off his pants. Ever since he ate Xianxia, the thing in his crotch received a lot of comfort and admiration and became much more obedient. At the same time, it made his vision even higher. By the side of the ancient spirit great land, many experts had already gathered, and the young people were already teleported away. When Lianing Xiao saw Xianxia rushing over with a solemn face, he knew that something big had happened in the ancient spirit great land. What's going on inside? Yao Shumi asked anxiously. The dense demonic qi made her face turn serious. Has started. From here on, all of you should quickly go back and make your preparations. The ancient spirit great land was the center of this new world, and the tunnel was also the center of it. Didn't the devil-subduing college say that? In the center of demon and devil realms are some powerful fellows. Chun Xiang said. This caused all the experts to be moved. They had already guessed this, but they just couldn't believe it had happened so quickly.